Okay.
I just gotta set up. I've got the intro music going. We're just gonna set up here for a minute. Welcome to anybody tuning in. Feel free to skip ahead if you're watching this in the future, but right now, it's Labor Day. September 22nd.
It's the day for the laborers.
I wish you guys could hear the music so you could jam out with me, because it's really jiving.
Is it good music this time around, or is it the same music every time?
I've been using the same song, but right now.
Oh.
Okay, just checked. I can hear the music on the stream. Perfect, excellent. Last time, I don't think it went through.
And just for anybody who just popped in, or idiots who are
anybody
on this
who's
podcast,
here just popped in because we just
where all can we see this stream right now?
GamingMikesChannel.com has links to all the channels, but basically any streaming site you can think of. Basically. Hey, Mike Young can hear us. Hi, Mikey. Oh, I gotta go wake up Cloudbot on all channels. Oh, Cloudbot is awake on all channels already. That's great.
Yeah, I generally read the YouTube chat, but what is like the most active one I should look at? So I can see the chat. What? The most active chat that I can look at.
YouTube's good. YouTube's good.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's where I'm jumping into. Is
YouTube's
YouTube.
The main channel, the primary channel where most people chat. But Twitch chat also shows up on stream. I believe Trovo chat shows up on stream, and perhaps No, I think Facebook does not. Speaking of which, I better check us on Facebook. That's one I forgot. And TikTok. Hello, TikTok. We got a spam comment. We got a spam comment already on TikTok from Meg, who's probably a robot. Thanks, Meg.
Thanks, Meg.
Do you think she's Mithrigon?
No. I'm gonna go with no. I don't know what that means, but no.
Bless your robot heart, Meg.
You never watched Megan, the movie about the
the
robot
M3gon. Oh, M3gon. Oh, I get you. Oh, yeah, I do know what that is. I saw that movie. It was all right. It was all right. M3gon. I misheard what you said. Oh, what do we have here? I think we're ready.
Yeah?
Mikey, we're looking good, sounding good out there. Any issues? Several requests for money on political ads. Oh, Mikey's got to go vote. Mikey's got to go vote right now. JK Rowling.
Do your civic duty, Mikey.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Bully him into it. That'll do it.
Well, that's what they're doing.
That's all you can do. Bully people into it. Doing what you want them to.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Okay. I'm gonna transition us over to a chat screen.
Right. Just asking for money. Okay.
Yeah, I've been getting so many lately too, political ads on YouTube, but that's not what we're here for. Welcome everybody. Gaming Mike here along with Actor Matt and AC Gamer. We're here for Jolt. We're going to talk about video game and entertainment news. Hi fellas.
Hey buddy.
How's it going, guys?
Hi. We got Mike Young in the chat already. Mikey, thanks for joining us. We're going to be talking Star Wars Outlaws today, as well as some Rings of Power, as well as various other news tidbits, which you can always share with us in the Discord server. Check the description for links to the Discord server. Join us in there anytime to chat with us off stream, in between streams. It's been about a month since our last episode, so right now it's our monthly video podcast game news episode show. So thanks for joining us. Looks good, almost professional. Thank you very much, Mike Young. Thank you very much. How's everybody doing? AC, Actor Matt, what have you been playing? What have you been watching? Should we start with that this time? What if we start with that this time, actually?
Sure.
Tell me. Matt, go first.
Okay, I'll go first. All right. So I've been playing a lot of World of Warcraft because the newest expansion just came out. And, building the guild and stuff like that. And then I'm also playing Star Wars Outlaws,
Aha.
like nonstop.
Which we're totally going to talk about a bunch today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Before we get into that, so how is the world where Warcraft takes place in? How's it going? Because I played it, but it's got to been at least 5 to 10 years since I've ever touched it.
So one of the reasons that a lot of people left is because they hated grinding, and I'm the same way. I hate grinding quests. I hate doing everything that I have to do just to level up. It took forever. And one of the things that Blizzard's done over the last few expansions is they've kind of, if you play the campaign, you're slingshotted up to max level status.
Slingshot?
Slingshot sounds like a good way to put it.
Continue.
Well, you get slingshot up to the highest level that you need to be to do the end game stuff, because that's what people want to do. They want to get to the end game stuff. They don't want to grind. They don't want to. It's just tedious and monotonous, and they've kind of fixed some of those things, which is nice. They've messed with a lot of things that were wrong. They've listened to player feedback, and they've changed a lot of things. That's been really, really, really great. I mean, I only got back into it because of my best man for my wedding. Wanted to set up a guild, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll play for a little bit, and fell in love again, as if it was 2004 back when I first started playing. So if you haven't played, if you haven't played in a long time, come back, or at least for a month. Try it for a month. Well, I mean, it's a lot to spend for an expansion and then play only for a month. But
excellent sales pitch.
Yeah. Well, I don't work for Blizzard.
That does, like, because, like, when I was playing Warcraft, I mean, my favorite thing was always, like, creating, like, new characters, like trying out all the different classes and races, but then you get to the point where it's like, okay, well, I got to go through all these same quests all over again. Do that.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of probably what made me drop off. But it sounds like you kind of get they're letting you, like, fast track to the good stuff.
Yeah, and another cool thing is that with the latest expansion, they've combined all of your characters on all the servers together on one little list on the side of your screen when you first log in, that shows all the characters on all the different servers. And so you don't have to jump from realm to realm to try to find, if you have a realm that's all Alliance characters or a realm that's all Horde characters, you don't have to jump around anymore. It's all right there on the right side of the screen, which is super handy. Because I have characters on both Horde and Alliance. Yeah, that's the new, which you just popped up there. That's the new playable race that you can earn, the Earthen. They're pretty cool looking. But yeah, so in the last couple of expansions, there's a character in the World of Warcraft called Chromie. She's a time-traveling dragon. And so she can send you back to other expansions that you get. So if you create different characters and you're like, well, I never beat this expansion, I kind of want to go see what that was all about, you can go talk to Chromie and she'll send you back to that expansion and you can level up there. And then that way, when you make another character, you'd be like, okay, I want to do this expansion, and then you go to that one. And so you're not doing the same quests over and over and having it get monotonous, like you said.
Okay.
It seems like it would keep it fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because yeah, no, definitely. Like, you can go back to, like, Mists of Pandaria.
Yeah.
You can go back to Cataclysm.
Yeah.
That actually does sound really fun because, yeah, Cataclysm was really awesome.
Yeah, and when you log back in, you get Classic World of Warcraft for free, and the Classic World of Warcraft is just like it says. It's the old WoW, and right now they're currently on Cataclysm, so you can go back and play Cataclysm just the way it was when it first came out. Yeah, and it's for those that were WoW players. Yeah.
Mikey says Blizzard getting smarter. Thinky face.
Yeah, it's for real. Blizzard is getting smarter, which is kind of a surprise because for the longest time they didn't care what the fans and players thought.
He also says he saw a failed raid where everybody died because one guy disconnected the main tank, and it was permadeath. Oh God. Oh God. That sounds horrible.
I've never heard of permadeath in WoW, but I mean that would be just awful.
Is there not a hardcore mode in WoW?
Yeah, it's a Blizzard game.
Not that I'm aware of.
Like in Diablo?
The damn Blizzard game. They got no hardcore? Maybe you just never looked at that option in the menu because you're afraid. Afraid, man.
1,000%. I play video games on the easiest mode because I am terrible at video games.
Yeah, I want to start Black Myth Wukong back up and see if there's an easy mode I can set it to just to tear through it and see the story. Because I don't really care for the Souls-like games. But they don't generally have difficulty settings, right? I feel like Souls-like games don't do difficulty settings, but I could be mistaken.
Well, the Jedi games did, and they're Souls-like.
Well, I'm talking... Yeah. I'm trying to think of...
I could just open that game up and see if it does have those settings. Like, we don't have to ponder on it too long.
I was just thinking about the FromSoft games. I don't think they generally have difficulty settings. It's just like, it's hard.
That's what I was basing it on. I feel like those ones do not. I feel like I heard that somewhere at some point. Mike Young says I should play Elden Ring. I don't think so.
My middle...
they're too frustrating to me. They're too frustrating.
Right? My middle stepson, he is playing through Elden Ring, and he must be a glutton for punishment because every time I walk in there, it's. I don't understand it because he raves about it, but I can't play those games.
But that's the thing is like once you like finally do it, like when you finally like beat a boss, it is so satisfying. It's like the best video game feeling you've ever had, ever.
That's exactly what he tells me. He's like, you've got to play it because once you beat the main boss, then it's so satisfying.
And it's also a kind of relaxing at the same time because usually when and we can talk about it more when we talk about what I've been playing. Because I've been playing Elden Ring, and it's like,
nice.
You just put like a podcast or some music and you just like kind of zone out because you're fighting the same boss over and over again. And then like, once you get like, okay, I think this is the one, this is the shot. I got him. So yeah, I don't know. It's fun.
I started typing why is Elden Ring so hard, and that was the first suggestion when I had why is Elden Ring in the bar was so hard. Considered hard because it requires focus, endurance, and skill. It's designed to be a rigorous test of perseverance and places little value on hand-holding or easing the player's burdens. While it doesn't have traditional difficulty settings, some builds and strategies can make it feel easier. Wow. That's just a quick summary when I binged that question. I binged it. I use Bing during stream because I don't use it normally, so if I open it up, it's only going to have Jolt history on it, you know? I'm smart like that. Genius. Anyway, hey, we got some viewers on Instagram. Hello, Instagram viewers. Thanks for joining us, as well as TikTok.
Hey, Mike Young, I also kind of want to marry Millennia because she is really hot, but she is also the goddess of rot. So I don't know how well that would work out.
Gross.
So World of Warcraft is one of the ones that I'm playing, and then not Jedi, sorry. I was thinking about Jedi because we were talking about Souls-like games, right? Star Wars Outlaws is the other game that I've been playing like crazy.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Um,
Should we just jump into it? We can talk about that right now.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Rolling Stone calls it one of the best Star Wars games ever made.
I don't disagree.
It's, I mean, I'm still very early into the game, so I can't like definitively say that, but it's super good. It's very much, before we went live, me and Matt were talking like, it's kind of like Hitman in a lot of ways because and also the Metal Gear Solid series, like it requires you to be like very sneaky and sort of like think about what you're doing and be aware of your environment because it's one of those few Star Wars games where you're not a Jedi. You're just like a regular ass person.
A scoundrel.
Yeah, and if you get shot with
Solo type.
Yeah, and if you get shot with a blaster just like a couple of times, you're dead.
Good.
And you can't like
they're freaking laser blasts.
You don't have force powers. You don't have a lightsaber. You kind of just have like kind of your own wits, and a lot of the missions are like you want to just like sneak around and find kind of it. The game definitely like wants you to like think of it like a smarter way about how to like accomplish a mission. Like whether you're like trying to steal something or break into a place. It's not easy because I think you can probably, and I'm sure like as you get later into the game and like upgrade your skills and stuff, you can probably go hard and like blast your way through stuff, but early game you can't.
And I don't think that I don't think it's very fun to blast your way in. I used to hate the Assassin's Creed games, and as I've gotten older, I kind of dig it. I enjoy the Zen-like moments of patience where I have to like figure out how to get in, and like I enjoy that. Like last night I was playing and I had to get into an Imperial compound, and I must have spent like 20 minutes just scouting out the compound. And
because you gotta like mark where everybody's going.
Yep.
And
so if it's like Assassin's Creed, is it also sort of like the Shadow of Mordor games as far as the gameplay loop? Okay. See, I like those kind of games. I like those kind of games.
And so as I was telling AC before we started, it reminds me kind of like a mix of Assassin's Creed and the Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order games. Especially Jedi Survivor, because Jedi Survivor was a lot more open world than Jedi Fallen Order. But it does kind of feel like that. What do you think about the ship, AC? Have you gotten your ship yet?
Yes, I have, and it's actually pretty fun. It's pretty simple combat. I don't know if it's like kind of like a mechanic they thought about more in the game. But
it reminds me a lot of early No Man's Sky.
Yes, exactly. It doesn't take a whole lot of learning to learn how to fly the ship and dive around places, and it's been pretty fun. I've just been enjoying like the whole like the world and like the lore building with it. It's like I can tell like the people that wrote the game and designed the game are Star Wars fans.
Yes, and that's the biggest thing for me, and that was so I guess now is a good time to segue into the question that you asked me right before we started, which was well, go ahead and ask it again.
Oh yeah, sure. So there are basically like kind of several like crime families or syndicates or cartels.
The Huts?
The Huts are in there. The Hut cartel
Hey.
that you can. There's.
I know those ones.
There's the Spice Runners, the Pikes. Yeah, the Pike Syndicate, and a bunch of others that you can join, and if you help them out, they'll like you, and they'll even like discount the items that you can buy from them or weapons that you can buy from them.
Yeah.
But if you do a mission for them against another cartel, like that other cartel will be like hunting you down.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
So, and which is, so your question was that, which cartel do I want to be friends with? And because I am such a Star Wars nerd, and I know the backstory, I've read books and stuff like that, and I know the backstories of each of the cartels. The Crimson Dawn is really the only one that I'm like okay to get in bed with. And I absolutely hate the Pikes, and it shows in my gameplay right now because they're just like all the way hating me, and on every world they hunt me down. Like as I'm going around every world, they're hunting me down.
I piss off the Pikes, and they come after me a lot too.
Yeah, it's easy to piss off the Pikes.
Yeah, and it's like, gosh, it's a nerdy thing. Because
Mikey.
I'm also with Crimson Dawn.
Yeah.
Because I want to meet Amelia Clark's character, who I know is in the game.
Oh boy.
She doesn't play her character.
I know, but it's her.
Okay. But yes, and I don't want to spoil it for you, so I won't tell you anything.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm not quite there yet. I'm sure you.
It's not now. It came out how long ago? How many days ago?
Friday. It came out Friday.
That's right. Okay.
Still
and Mikey asked if the Crimson Dawn from the Han Solo movie, and yes, it is the Crimson Dawn from the Han Solo movie. They were in more than just the Han Solo movie. They were big in the Clone Wars and the Rebels. They were actually led at one point by Darth Maul.
Oh snap! I know him.
Yeah, the Crimson Dawn.
That's why they're called Crimson Dawn.
Oh,
yeah.
He's a big red guy.
Yeah. So the Crimson Dawn is who I ally with, but right now the two syndicates that really love me are the Hutts and Crimson Dawn.
I know. The two others are like not. I guess they were, kind of created for the game, so I don't know a whole lot about them, but I'd like to kind of delve more into their stories too.
Well, you also get, and I don't think it's that much of a spoiler because it's pretty early on that you see that you also get reputation with the Rebel Alliance as well.
So Rebels.
Yeah, so you can. You can get reputation with the Rebels. Obviously, no matter where you go, the Empire is always on your back, and you get that Grand Theft Auto like wanted across the screen. Oh, yeah, no joke. Like you get a big old flash of wanted across the screen if you do too much bad stuff to the Empire, and they come after you.
That's how I'm very curious about how the story will go. Because it's not like Grand Theft Auto, because
right.
Kay as a character, she seems like, pretty good. Like, I don't think you can go like super, evil and dark with her.
I haven't really been given any choices that are super evil and dark. You tell me
there's not going to be a split ending in this game where you choose between the light side and the dark side? I thought this was Star Wars.
Well, here's the thing. It's Star Wars, so it's got to be canon.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I don't know if there will be like a alternate ending. I think like Kay's story.
Star Killer?
I'm pretty I'm pretty sure like so far what I've seen is like Kay will end up not like part of the rebellion, but always doing the good stuff, doing the good choices.
Being a Robin Hood type.
Because here's the thing: is like
rich, give to the poor.
The whole like point of this I think the whole premise of the game is like it's like a Han Solo simulator. Like you're basically Han Solo, but like if Han Solo was
This young lady
this young lady
with her little dog.
with a little dog.
He's so cute.
And a robot companion. Oh, it skipped right past it on.
Oh yeah. Also, and
ND5.
I don't know if this will ever like come up like within the story. Maybe Matt, but like it seems like she does have like powers, and it's like through her connection with Nex, and it's like because like he can see things through walls, and then like he relays that back to her. So I'm wondering, like,
sensitive little doggy.
I think he is. Oh. I think that's kind of like what they're implying.
And he is like it does say in his bio at the very beginning of the game that like he's the only one of his kind that's really known throughout the universe. So you could be right. Little Nix could be a force sensitive puppy, which I mean, look at him. He's so adorable.
Oh, I want to pet him.
Right.
Yeah. And he's also like very like so integral to like the gameplay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because like at first when I was playing, I was just like, okay, he's a cute guy. He just follows me around, but I don't really want to use him. But
you have to.
He's the little girl from The Last of Us.
No, she's not Ellie.
Well, kind of.
I'm trying to make a Last of Us joke. I've still never played that game.
Where, yeah. Well, like Joel could, tell Ellie to go certain places, but like Nix can, he's a small little puppy, so he can crawl through vents. He'll grab stuff for you. He'll pickpocket people. Like if you need some money, I mean that was kind of like the whole like tutorial with Nix is just like get some money.
Go steal money. Yeah. There are like parts of the game that you cannot get to. Like there are doors that you cannot open unless you send Nix. And one of the cool things about the game is that pickpocket people too stupid to notice. Yeah, Mikey.
I think that dog took his wallet.
I think he took his wallet.
Also, like, you'll break into places that have like security cameras, and then you can send Nix to like distract the camera. Because I guess in Star Wars the cameras are also droids. They like are sentient and they look at everything.
Yeah.
Right. Nix is great, and I've just come to use him probably more than I should. Like even when I'm like standing right next to something that I could just hit R3 and grab. I'm like, Nix, go get that. So I use him. Once you get into the habit of using Nix, I think that's what Ubisoft wanted was
I think Facebook
you to use Nix a lot.
Yeah, he's pretty integral because Kay, as Kay, you can only do so much. I mean, she's pretty capable. Like she's like just like climbing and sprinting everywhere. I love like if you see a vent and you're trying to escape from some bad guys, she'll just like dive into the vent. Which is awesome. So so far what I played, it's a solid video game, and I kind of want to shut this stream so I can go play some more right now.
And Mike, you were looking
finish the show with us.
Okay.
You were looking at the galaxy to explore there a second ago.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I'm watching the
there it is.
Stream. Okay. So let's see. What planets does it say? There's
Toshara, Akiva, Kijimi, and Cantonica.
Okay.
And there's more if I scroll. Oh, also Tatooine.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm able to bounce. I'm at the point in the game where I can bounce through all of those areas.
Nice.
But I don't think
I'm still on the first planet, to be honest. That's how early in the game I am.
Mikey, Okay. So I think that probably the people that you're watching stream the game are doing what I'm doing right now. And they're just going for the main quests. But it's like a Bethesda game where if you go into a cantina, somebody will be like, "Hey, you," and you go over and you talk to them, and then they send you down this huge quest line.
I was an adventurer once.
Yeah, and I took an arrow to the knee, and so there's a whole bunch of quests that you can do, and most of the maps are pretty gigantic. Like, I compared one of the worlds to the map on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and one of the worlds is the same size as the map on Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Wow.
So these are pretty gigantic maps for each world.
Huge.
And there's
Billions,
little things.
billions. Sorry.
You're okay.
Continue.
Like world events will pop up where you could be out on your speeder, and all of a sudden you hear on the radio that the Empire is going to attack some pirates that stole some Imperial equipment, and Kay says, "Well, I need that." And so you have to, you can go, you don't have to, but you can go and fight these pirates and the Empire and take the supplies. And it's just...
Yeah, because it is like sort of they made such a good job of like making it a living world where it's like, because there is basically a big war going on aside from, the Empire versus the rebellion. There's the cartel wars that are going on right now because they all want to seize, their power. And like the main antagonist, you basically meet him like right away.
In the opening cinematic.
Yeah, what's his name? It's Centro.
I think Mike showed it a minute ago when he was looking at the cast of characters. It's like Sliro. That's his name.
Yeah. And
remember his name. He is Sliro, and he's got a beautiful cape.
Yeah. The whole story kicks off because like you're trying to like pull a heist off of him, and then you kind of get like wrapped up into the rebellion and all the cartels and so it's really cool. I'm curious about like what's going to happen with that story. Because he just had you were trying to. Well, I'm not going to say anything else.
And I can't really say much because I put the story on hold and have just been playing Sabacc. And I've just been cleaning up at the Sabacc tables. That's really what I've been doing.
What kind of game is that? Is that cards, dice? What is it?
It's a card game.
Yeah, there's Sabacc, but there's also like right off the bat you can go. You remember in The Last Jedi, because the game starts off on Canto Bight, that the Las Vegas Star Wars planet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they have like the horses. You can bet on the horses if you want to.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
But there's also space horses. You mean?
Space horses.
Yeah, there's space horses.
The other cool part.
Years.
Yeah. The other cool part was there's like an arcade. You just like stroll by and you can play some arcade games, and they're pretty much based off the original Atari Star Wars games.
Hell yeah.
That have like that, vector type graphics.
Yeah. Did you ever play that one on Super Nintendo though? That was pretty sweet. I like
they're
the
really
Super
neat.
Nintendo one.
They're really neat. These are way before the Super Nintendo ones.
Yeah, Mikey. Sorry, Mike.
I was going to say the same thing. You go.
Well, I love that Mikey is referring to this because the Darth Bane series is at my absolute effing favorite Star Wars book series of all time, and I wish they would do a movie. He did play Sabacc, and he played Pazak.
Sabacc and Pazak?
Yeah, he played both, Pazak is a little bit different because the cards actually change.
Oh yeah, no, Pazak is a much more refined game than Sabak.
Sabak. You have actual cards.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
Yeah. Mikey's a big Sith supporter. It's such a great series. I wish that Disney would get their heads out of their rear ends and actually do a Darth Bane series, because that would be brilliant. But who knows?
Just give them time. They'll get to it
Who
eventually.
knows? Darth Bane's canon. He's still canon.
He is canon. Yep, he is canon.
Mark Hamill.
When was that established?
Mark Hamill
In the
played
Clone
in
Wars.
the Clone Wars.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, great.
I love talking Star Wars. Like, we could do a 3-hour stream just talking about this game and how it feeds into all the other Star Wars things.
We should.
I love it.
Later on. Well, yeah, later on we should talk about the Acolyte. Although we probably shouldn't.
Well,
too
didn't
long
we?
about
We
it.
kind of covered it last time, didn't we?
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh yeah. Why not?
Well, because I'm stupid.
Oh.
I
it's an
listened to
intelligence thing. I see.
yeah. Well, I listen to reviews, and I take my biased opinion, and I don't actually form my own opinion about it. And so I've put it on the back burner
for yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Which again is because I'm stupid. So
Nice.
I have seen, and we talked about this last time, the lightsaber battles look incredible.
And I had some dope lightsaber battles in that show.
Yeah.
And so it's on the list of things that I need to watch only for the lightsaber battles. and I'm going to go into it like I go into everything now, which is, did I have fun while I watched it? If so, that means it was good. If not, then it was bad. So, you know,
it's the Acolyte is, and my kind of thinking about it after seeing it after a couple of weeks reflecting on it, it's like it's good. It's it's fun Star Wars.
Is a little murder mystery?
Is it perfect? Absolutely not. I kind of had some troubles with some of the acting.
Some of the dialogue was awful. Just horrible.
Yeah.
Just rotten, awful, boring, dumb dialogue. I'll tell you that. But only some of it. Only some of it.
Yeah. I would say it's more better than it is, awful.
Yeah.
So the positives outweigh the negative.
Yeah.
Yes.
Totally.
Okay.
Yes.
And you know what? And I apologize, fellas. I still have to watch X-Men on the big screen and not my phone.
What, X-Men 7?
Yeah, I am so far behind on my Disney Plus shows.
You're only doing yourself a disservice.
Well, I'm just so behind on my Disney Plus shows. I've been watching a lot of the Amazon stuff, and I'm trying to catch up on The Boys. There's so much.
You haven't even caught up on The Boys?
No, there's so much good TV out there. It's hard to because I have to commit to one at a time. I can't watch them all separately. And
that's the thing is sometimes you just got to pick and choose. Honestly, I haven't watched The Boys because I knew I'd probably like it too much, but then there's tons of other shows that I want to watch.
Right, and I want to pay attention to these shows, so I have to beat Star Wars Outlaws, and then
I actually picked.
Then I can pay attention.
I actually picked Invincible over The Boys.
Oh yeah,
Invincible was good. I finally caught up on that recently too. I liked Invincible.
Yeah, and it's these two shows are pretty similar, so I've got to pick one, and of course I went with the animated one.
I love Mike's segue here because I was talking about Amazon shows, and then he brought up the Rings of Power. I have not watched it yet. I have heard so many bad things and so many good things. So
because you know how to let online crybabies ruin a show for you before you even try it.
That's why we do this show, so that you guys can tell me whether you liked it, because you're my friends outside of this stream, and I like pretty much what you guys like. So what did you guys think about Rings of Power?
Let's get into talking about season two. So Rings of Power, since Matt doesn't know, and we're gonna talk it. There's 3 episodes out. We're gonna talk about those episodes. Spoilers ahead if you haven't seen them yet.
It's okay. I don't care about
them. Yeah, you have to deal with it. I'm just that was for the audience. That was for anybody who may watch this. But just to fill you in, Rings of Power takes place hundreds of years before the Lord of the Rings action that we know and love. It's got young Galadriel and young Elrond running around with young Sauron just coming into power. And in the first season, he basically gets to Mordor, right? That's about how far that journey took him.
Yeah,
so he deceived Galadriel and he deceived Elrond and he tricked him into making the 3 elven rings in the first season.
So yeah, just like
Can I pop in for a sec before you get into deep? Yeah. I just have to say, no joke. Last night I watched the Return of the King riff tracks. Nice. If you guys have not watched, and this, they're not paying us, but if you guys want to watch,
what, they stopped the checks? What's happening? I thought we were on the
payroll. But if you want to watch some absolutely hilarious, like any of the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies, and have them be hilarious, watch them with the riff tracks. They're the guys that did MST3K. But that's all I have to say. It's it's a coincidence that I watched Return of the King last night with the riff tracks, and now we're talking about the Rings of Power. But continue, please. I'm sorry for the
that's fine. Tangent. It was Lord of the Rings related, at least.
Yeah.
At least. So then what? Yeah, season 2 picks up. What were you going to say, Andre? AC?
Oh, just like a quick recap of the first season. It was basically Galadriel. She wants to seek revenge on Sauron because he killed her brother in the First Age.
Finrod.
Sauron is basically like, he's not even like the big baddie of Middle-earth, the Lord of the Rings. He was a lieutenant of Morgoth, who is basically the devil of that world.
Okay, and, so because I haven't watched, sorry to interrupt again.
No, go ahead.
Does any of this tie into the Shadows games?
A little bit, actually. This next season actually really does too.
Oh yeah, well, Celebrimbor is all over this series. Celebrimbor was.
Oh really?
Yeah. Celebrimbor is all over this series.
Okay, all right. Well, now you've got me.
There you go.
So
now I'm in.
Basically, Galadriel makes her way back to Middle-earth because she was actually outcast by the other elves because they thought she was getting a little bit too obsessed with revenge and Middle-earth and all that.
Which she is.
Yeah, she's really obsessed. And so they both Sauron and Galadriel actually meet each other, even though that Galadriel doesn't know that the dude is Sauron.
Because he's like, I'm the other guy. He's just, they don't ask for ID back then. There's no ID cards. He's just like, hey, check out this pouch with a symbol on it. I'm their king. And she's like, cool. I'm going to help you.
Yeah. And so they eventually they make their way to like the kingdom where this guy claims he's from. But unknown to like basically everybody, the orcs have been plotting to like destroy it all, and the very end of the season is like they set off this volcano which basically creates
turn the Southlands into Mordor.
Yeah,
It was Mount Doom. They set off Mount Doom. There was this big elaborate trap in this city where if you put a sword in the right slot and twist it, then it opens up the floodgates and the water goes to the volcano, and for some reason that makes it erupt. It's great.
Right. And then but what I've been loving about this new season is that you kind of learn that Sauron really he's not really in that control that you think he is, because the orcs don't like him.
He's a manipulator. He's a deceiver.
And so that's why he needs to create the rings and the One Ring so that he can control the orcs. Basically to dominate, because that's his whole deal. Like his power
Wants to rule the world.
Okay.
of all the Maiars, be like he can like manipulate people, but he just like needs more power to do it. Because in the first episode where we see it's a flashback, he seems like very unconfident and like nervous when he's like trying to convince the orcs, to help him. And
that was a weird flashback, man. Like, what a journey. This season opens with this flashback of Sauron in a previous form being killed by these orcs, and this main orc, Adar, who's like a villain throughout all this so far. And then he turns into this goo and drips into the ground, and then waits a while until a rat comes along and then eats it and starts to take form. And he just keeps eating stuff until he becomes a human again. It was gross and weird. I liked it.
Yeah, it was so cool because it's sort of like the best visual way that you can understand like what the Maiar are.
Yeah.
Because he's a Maiar. So is Gandalf.
So is Randall Flagg, probably.
So all right. Try, because I haven't watched this. Try to give me a visual, and I'm kind of getting the Sauron's character here. He's one of those guys that he doesn't have the physical strength to, lead, and he doesn't have the charisma to lead. So he's just going to try to manipulate people like a coward.
Yeah, that's his whole thing.
But he gets killed, right? And then he dies. Does he start coming back like that scene in Hellraiser with the the pour the blood on the thing and then the Uncle Frank starts coming out of the floor? Is that kind of how he does it? Like for those that have seen Hellraiser?
Kind of, because like even though like his current physical form was basically stabbed to death, like there was like basically just like a few drops of blood that like sunk into some water,
like it's
and
it's
then he's able to resurrect himself.
I see Mike searching it. It's this might be an NSFW. It might be.
I'll probably stop then.
Because like deep lore wise, the Maiar are basically immortal.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're
like Uncle Frank in Hellraiser.
Yeah, but they're like angels. And so is Gandalf. Gandalf is a Maiar, but he's called one of the Astari, which are like the good ones.
Okay.
And so that's why Gandalf didn't die at that time, because he was able to resurrect himself.
Into Gandalf the White.
AC's got the Tolkien lore here.
Hell yeah.
I'm digging it.
Dude, I've been reading these books since as long as I can remember. I've been reading these books forever.
I listened to Andy Serkis read the Silmarillion a few weeks back. I went through that, put it on as my background noise. It was really great. It was really great.
I remember I read The Hobbit in junior high and the Lord of the Rings series, maybe in junior high as well. But that was the last time I actually read them, because the movies came out shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, why read when I could go watch the movie? Because,
Because you're an American, and that's what Americans
do. Yeah.
Toker, welcome to it. Thanks for joining us.
The other big plot point of this season is that the High King of the Elves, Gil-galad, he wants the three rings because like the light has faded from it, and it sounds so weird to say. The light has faded from Middle Earth. So basically, like the elves, who are like beings of magic, and they're supposed to be like the caretakers of nature. Since there's no light left in Middle Earth, they have to leave. But if Gil-galad has the rings, they can kind of preserve their way of life. And Elrond
stay in Middle Earth instead of going to the west.
Yeah, and Elrond, who is half elf, he's half human, he's half elf. He's like, didn't you just say like this dude is Sauron? And he helped.
Wait. Elrond that had a beef with yep, that's exactly Mr. Anderson.
Yeah.
He's half elf.
The halfie.
Yeah.
So why was he so pissed off when Liv Tyler was trying to get with Aragorn?
Because he's a damn hypocrite like most elves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he didn't. Well, I mean, he was a dad who like just loved his daughter, and he didn't want his daughter to
Plus,
like.
did you see that scruffy looking ranger? Come on, you want her marrying him? She's an elf
He was
princess
dreamy.
for crying out loud.
He was
Yeah,
dreamy.
I mean, yeah, he just wanted to protect her from grief because he knew that, like, yeah, Aragorn's going to die, but you won't. And so you're just going to be, like, sad for centuries.
Well, didn't he have, like, unusually long life, too?
He did, but still not as long as...
One of the lines that was one of the lines in The Two Towers was, like, my uncle said you fought with my grandfather, and that would make you at least 90, and he was like, yup.
Yeah, but he was still mortal because he's part of the Númenórean, which are like they're still humans, but they have like longer lives than regular humans. So
is that what we're going to evolve into? We're going to evolve into the Númenor.
I'm done evolving, dude. I'm not evolving to nothing.
I am no longer evolving. We got Númenóreans in this series too. Isildur. We have Isildur.
Isildur
of
Isildur
fame.
Yeah,
and
Elendil, Isildur's dad, who is like also kind of like the big hero of like all of the humans, and he's the one who kind of like in the book lore. I'm not sure how to do it in the show, but he's kind of one that like gathers everyone, like the men and the elves, to be like, hey, we got to go get this guy, this Sauron dude, and
he's the
fight
one that
him.
cuts the ring off his hand.
He is.
I can't wait. I hope this series gets to that part. That'd be fun.
Well, that's Aragorn's granddad, right? Like, because he says throughout the series,
like his ancestor, because this is like taking place over hundreds of years. But
oh, right. But he's Isildur's heir.
Yeah.
They kept mentioning that in the movies. Isildur's heir.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that they catch up to that timeline with the series, and hopefully they'll be able to be like, okay, this is what's next. This is the start of Lord of the Rings, basically.
Yeah, we saw him cut the ring off in flashbacks and stuff in the Lord of the Rings, but we didn't see that whole war. We just saw parts of the battle. There was a few scenes in a few of the movies that showed that whole battle with Sauron and Isildur.
Yeah, and then they also
get the whole meat of it.
And then they also have the stranger.
Yeah.
Who they're refusing to.
Yeah, just say it. Just say it.
It's Gandalf.
It's Gandalf. But they haven't called him Gandalf in the show yet. They haven't called him that yet.
Yeah, because
he's goddamn Gandalf, and everybody knows it. Even the proto-halflings know it. The Harfoots.
The Harfoots.
So what I want to see is, like, when I was playing the Shadows games, right? Is Saruman a human or an elf? I thought he was an elf.
He's a wizard.
Saruman's a wizard. He's one of the other Maiar.
Sauron. Sorry, not Saruman.
He is one of the angel race that's different than the Maiar, right? Andre, AC knows.
They're all Maiar, but the 5 wizards that were sent to Middle Earth are called the Astari, who are the wizards. And yes, there's Saruman.
But no, Sauron. Which Sauron is part of which branch? Some other branch?
No. Yeah, it's confusing. Saruman, Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
And so him, Gandalf, Radagast, the brown wizard that we see in The Hobbit.
Yeah.
And
Doctor Who.
There's two others, and all of them are brothers.
There's a blue and a green one, I think.
I think they're brothers. I might be wrong about that, but they're all Maiar. They're the angel race that comes from. But
then Sauron, is he Maiar also, or is it something else?
Oh,
yeah, he is Maiar.
Okay, but he's not a wizard branch Maiar. He's another branch of them.
No, the Astari were sent to like fight Sauron.
Yeah.
I was getting confused because I was thinking about Celebrimbor.
Celebrimbor is an elf.
Yeah, and that's
elf.
I was getting them mixed up. I was getting Sauron and Celebrimbor mixed up because I was like, how does he turn into this little dainty elf and then all of a sudden he's that big giant armor-clad dude?
Well,
but
now
at the same time, like
that's where they're getting into in this season of the show is like because Sauron, he can like his specialty is just like deception. Like he can change his form. He can like turn into anybody basically.
Okay.
And so he comes to Celebrimbor to like say, hey, I can help you make these rings. That way we can preserve the way of life of, us elves, because he comes to Celebrimbor as an elf, basically, and says, hey, let's do this, buddy. But secretly, Sauron was, basically plotting to like create the ring so that he can control the elves and, the men of the dwarves.
Well, you know what will get me watching the show is one, what you guys have been saying, because it might tie into the shadows. Well, you did, but I do really want to see Shelob in her human form.
Oh, we just had a little spider cave action in the last episode. Don't worry. Oh, in her human form. Well,
human form.
I don't know if we're going to see that. I think we're going to see Shelob, though, aren't we?
Yeah, she's been teased a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. We're still not that far into the show, maybe, but no, Shelob does kind of play up it. Well, she doesn't really play a big role in a lot of like the stuff that's going on. She's kind of just like the daughter of the spider god Aldegonth, who was Morgoth's. Man,
Dang, bro. You're pulling some deep cuts out of the Silmarillion, just out of memory. That's impressive.
I'm like such a nerd talking about this stuff.
I could do the same thing with Star Wars, so I love it. Like, get what you get and nerd out about it. Like, I could go down a huge rabbit hole with Star Wars.
But no, that's why I'm liking the show so much, is because like it's pulling some deep cuts and it's showing stuff that isn't necessarily written in the Silmarillion. Because the Silmarillion is mostly in the first age.
Yeah. And
Lord of the Rings takes place in the third age. And so the second age, between that time period, Tolkien wrote a lot about it, but like not a whole lot of like big details. Really.
Yeah, it's like the biblical broad strokes of the world.
And so it's like, and that's kind of like one of the things that is like some nerds are getting like pissed off about the show is like, you're taking liberties. This probably never happened, and it's like,
ooh, the work has evolved after 100 years or so. Boo. I'm just kidding. When did he write these? It hasn't been 100 years, but yeah, like let it grow. Let it grow. Deal with it.
Yeah, it's like other writers just like appreciating the work, and it's like,
yeah,
you don't have to watch the show. This is not the definitive like vision of Tolkien, but it's still fun and entertaining.
Yeah,
and I think that's why he wrote these books, is like for imagination.
Exactly.
To run wild, and he created this cool world. So why not play with it? So
yeah. And also, just like the first episode of this season, we forgot to mention the dwarves, but we've also got Durin's line in this show.
Oh.
We've got King Durin and his son Durin, right? They're both Durin.
Yeah, they're all Durin.
They're all Durin. But this line goes all the way down to one of the dwarves in The Hobbit, right? Do you know which one? AC, I'm guessing you do?
Yeah, the line of Durin is Oakenshield, right?
Yeah, Thorin.
Okay.
Thorin Oakenshield.
So they are Thorin was a descendant of these Durins.
Yeah,
and we're in Khazad-dûm. They're in Khazad-dûm before it gets into the state it's in Lord of the Rings, which is exciting to me.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like I'm interested to see like how Elrond and Durin kind of like, because Elrond was the one who told Durin like mine deeper so that we can get the mithril.
Yeah.
so that we can create the rings.
Yeah.
Oh.
And this
And
Durin, this younger Durin, is friends with Elrond in the series, and they have this friendship that his dad didn't like, and then he helped him make the first few rings with some mithril, and then now in the new season they've hooked him up with some more mithril after convincing his grumpy dad that they should do it.
And that's pretty much like why they implied, like in Lord of the Rings, like from Gimli and like the other dwarves that you see, it's like they don't like the elves because of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So bit of a grudge.
I'm going to try to convince the wife to go and watch this
Just tell her
tonight.
to watch this
Start
episode
watching.
of Jolt.
I think she is actually.
Oh.
But I'm going to see if she wants to watch this tonight, and then we're going to. I might have some questions for you offline because I love talking to knowledgeable people about their fandoms, and I love that you, AC, are so big into the Lord of the Rings because I'm just the average fan. But this is great. Like, what was it that you were listening to read by?
The Silmarillion was read by Andy Serkis. Yeah. It's an audio. It's on Spotify if you have premium. I listened to it for free on Spotify Premium.
Yeah, it's not really a traditional novel. It's kind of more like a history book.
Was it written by J.R.R. Tolkien?
Yeah, it's his notes on the whole world. So it's like stories. It's biblical style stories of the Lord of the Rings world. It's like the Lord of the Rings Bible, kind of.
Yeah. Actually, there is a really great YouTube video that I think I'll post in chat right now.
I'm starting.
And in our Discord
I just started a Rings of Power. Yeah, I just started a Rings of Power thread. We can talk Rings of Power in there. Feel free. It's in the Discord. Link in the description for the Discord for anybody that wants to join us.
He basically explains like the whole universe in like
and the Maiar and the angels and the demons.
5 minutes, and like you watch that and then like it'll make sense.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, like I said, because I could, like, the way you're talking about Lord of the Rings, I could do the same with Star Wars. I love it. I love it when people get passionate about their nerddoms.
Ah, yeah. Speaking of which, I would like to talk a little bit about Lord of the Rings Online. It came up in the chat. Mikey said he played a spider on there for 7 years. It sounds awesome. I've been hearing about Lord of the Rings Online lately and hearing some good things, and I'm almost tempted to give it a try. Did you guys ever play it? Did you ever play Lord of the Rings Online?
I did. So, you know, I'm a big fan of Aragorn, so I was kind of I did the stereotypical. Yeah, I did the Ranger. But I didn't see like Spider as being a race in there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And seriously.
I never got to play it because it was an MMO, and at the time I was a little kid and I had no money to pay for like a monthly subscription.
Well, it's free on Steam now, and I think it's free to play now.
Oh,
yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
the PvP
I'm pretty
was
sure.
Good. All I did was play the bad side, no leveling. The hero side was great quests and stuff, but he hates quests, says Mike Young. I get it. You got a lifetime account? Nice. It looks fun, and I don't know. I was seeing some posts about it recently, and I was like, maybe I could get into an MMO again.
Oh, you can only play as monsters in the PvP area. Okay. I was doing PvE.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's the thing with like Lord of the Rings is like because the franchise is kind of like split up from between different companies currently. The Lord of the Ring games are pretty hit and miss, and they've pretty much been missing. I don't know if you heard about the Gollum game.
Oh yeah, I think we talked about it a few jolts ago.
Yeah.
Like over a year ago.
Okay, let me pose this question to you guys since we're on this rabbit hole. What is your absolute favorite Lord of the Rings game that you've ever played ever?
It was just like the straight. I played it on GameCube, and I know it's on PS2 and Xbox, but like the straight up, like the Two Towers game, where you get to just be Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas, and just like slice your way through orcs. It was so good, dude.
I remember that one.
I
So
think that's the one I'm thinking of, but I got to go with the Shadow of series. Probably
The
both of them
Shadows are
together.
good. I mean, those are
great.
great. But the ones that I like think back to my childhood when I was like, after I just like read those books and then they just announced a GameCube or PlayStation 2 game that I was just like, this looks so cool.
I love that we all have 3 different favorite Lord of the Rings games. It's so great.
They did
because
do didn't they do in this series? I think this is the one I was thinking of from long ago. They did the whole trilogy, didn't they? Like on PlayStation 1 or 2?
They did.
Yeah.
Those were pretty fun.
Yeah. They did the Two Towers, which was, I think, covered both the first movie and the second movie.
Oh, okay.
And then they did Return of the King, which was also a really good movie. But I don't know. I just loved the Two Towers so much because my favorite part of the books and the movies are the Two Towers, like the Battle of Helm's Deep, where it's just like a bunch of like scared villagers up against impossible odds, defeating all these orcs. It's rad.
It was great.
It's rad.
So my favorite of the series, which you guys, I hope you've played, but I don't know if you have. It was the Star Wars Battlefront of the Lord of the Rings, and it was called Lord of the Rings Conquest.
Oh yeah, I did play that one.
I loved that game
That was
so
really
much. Yeah, that was probably my favorite Lord of the Rings game.
I guess
me and one of my exes played it for hours and hours and hours.
I guess for some reason that one never really caught on, but it was still really fun. There was also a big like Warcraft clone star.
Yeah, it was Battle for Middle Earth, and it was a fantastic. It's my second favorite, apart from Conquest.
Lord of the Rings Conquest is in the worst Lord of the Rings games in this PC Gamer article, just so you know.
Hey,
it's in the worst instead of the best section.
I do like some really bad things.
I like the Battle for Middle Earth because there was like an alternative timeline where you can be, the bad side, and I like one of the last levels was you can control a Balrog who just like stomps through the Shire.
Oh, dang.
And kills all the hobbits.
That's in Battle for Middle Earth 2.
Yeah.
Which was still good. It wasn't as good as the first one, just because you couldn't place your buildings where you wanted to. It was kind of restrictive of where you could place your buildings. For those that don't know, Battle for Middle Earth is a lot like Command and Conquer, the
nice.
real-time strategy games.
The original Warcraft?
Yeah, the original Warcraft, stuff like that. Fantastic game. You can play as the Rohirrim, you can play as Gondor, you can play as Mordor, you can play as straight-up goblins, and I think, is that it? Is it just I can't remember.
It looks like you can download these games from oldgamesdownload.com. I cannot vouch for the security of the site. Use it at your own risk.
I might have to. Those were some of my favorite games. Battle for Middle Earth, Conquest. Those were some of my favorites. But no. Basically, the big thing I remember for that game is just like, at the very end, you're just like marching through the Shire with the Witch King and the Balrog. Yeah.
You get to play through the Scourging of the Shire as the bad guys?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you can
incredible.
Pick. So in the campaign, you can pick who you want to play as. So you can pick the elves, or you can pick the humans, or you can pick Mordor and the goblins. And if you pick Mordor and you play through the campaign with Mordor, you just take out the entire Shire, and that's the final goal. Yeah. Like that's the winning. Yeah. Killing all the hobbits.
So kind of effed up.
Yeah. And
I mean, war is
Gollum
hell, you know?
Gollum will show up in each map that you play. Like Gollum will show up with the ring, and if you find him and kill him and take it back, like have that unit take it back to your stronghold, you can build like a super big unit. So like Sauron, you can create Sauron, and Sauron comes out on the map, and he just starts wiping everybody out, and just walking through and just wiping everybody out. Or if you're playing as the elves, you can if you kill Gollum and take the ring back, you can have Galadriel come out and she just wipes everybody out.
Oh boy.
It was such a fun game.
Wait.
Yeah, so, if anybody wants to go back in time and play some of those great Middle-earth games.
Like you said, Matt, I could talk about Lord of the Rings like freaking all day.
It's the same with Star Wars. I could talk about Star Wars games and movies and books, comic books.
We should probably move on to something else. Mike, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Dwarf Fortress still. I played a little bit of Black Myth Wukong. I did. Did we talk about that? We haven't talked about that on stream.
What is Black Myth Wukong?
It is. It's a Souls-like game. It is the latest. It's like China's first AAA video game release. It's been this whole thing. And I played it for a little. I played it for about an hour. Like I say, not really my type of game, the Souls-likes. But the gameplay was smooth. It played really well. It's based on the legend that Dragon Ball Z is based on. Dragon Ball, Goku. Goku's whole thing from Dragon Ball is based on this legend that is told in Black Myth Wukong about, what is it, the Journey to the West?
Yeah, the Journey to the West.
Journey to the West.
And
so I did play that.
And you said this is a Chinese
AAA game. It's like their first AAA game, I think.
Yeah, and that's also where the novel comes from.
Really, I just know Goku from the Japanese anime Dragon Ball Z, so I didn't know that was based on a Chinese story.
So did you ever watch the original Dragon Ball? Like when he was a little kid? A little bit, yeah. And you know how he has a monkey tail? Yes. That's kind of where it all started from. Because he's basically
okay, so the Monkey King in Chinese mythology. Okay, I do know a little bit about that because I play Smite.
There you go. Yeah. Sun Wukong. He's a big character in that one too, huh?
Yeah.
We should get together and play Smite sometime.
Published in the 16th century during the Ming Dynasty and regarded as one of the great Chinese novels, been described as arguably the most popular literary work in East Asia, widely known in English-speaking countries through Arthur Waley's 1942 abridged translation, Monkey. Wow. It's a fictionalized account of the pilgrimage of a Chinese Buddhist monk who journeyed to India in the 7th century to seek out and collect Buddhist scriptures. So there you go. That's what the original is. Journey to the West is about. And basically kind of like he... basically just like this monk, he stumbles across just a bunch of characters who are all based on, animals, and they're supposed to be like the gods of those animals. So he meets Monkey... He meets a pig. And they just go through just a bunch of different adventures. It's basically like a big serialized. It's like one of the first examples of just comic books because it was like. I was gonna say, have you heard of comic books?
Yeah. It's just like a big serialized story that has been told over many years.
That's cool.
And
it's like their Beowulf. It's like their Iliad, sort of.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's one of those types of books.
Nice. Well, that's cool. So, what does the game entail?
So far, I got to a big giant wolf that kicked my ass a few times, and that was as far as I got.
Oh, okay.
But you play as Wukong. You're this monkey. You start out with this staff, and you got to go fighting monsters.
Well, here's the thing I heard about the game, which is, I think, probably not a spoiler to people who have read the book or know about the lore of it all, but you're not Su Wukong. This takes place. This is like a sequel. So it's not an exact retelling of it. It's kind of like you're this other monkey guy who's kind of like making his way down the path of that Sun Wukong took place, because I think isn't like the first like level you're fighting like these big.
The intro is like you're fully powered up and it doesn't tell you anything. You just got to guess the buttons real quick and it has you fight some big beast. But it's like it was kind of on easy mode because they didn't hurt me too bad and I was able to just button mash my way through it, which I was not able to do for that boss that I died on later. You can't just button mash those games, but I could in the intro.
That was the premise that I would, because I listened to a podcast and they were reviewing that because, hey man, I love Souls games, and after Outlaws, I'm probably going to play that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just saw we're on a little bit of a delay, and I just saw you pull up some, not art, but somebody dressed in this huge get-up, and it was just really cool. Sorry, that was what the Oh Wow was about.
No worries.
But that's cool. Like, I might have to try that one too after.
I think I did see that. I did see one image that I think it was like somebody had already modded the game for the main character to be Goku.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, so that's what I've been playing, and then I've been watching Rings of Power. I did finish The Boys. What else did I watch? I finished Invincible. That's been a while, though. Rings of Power is the recent one. It's been good.
Have y'all watched... I'll talk about something I watched, which was Alien Romulus.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about that.
It was really good. It sort of plays itself as like a direct sequel to the original Alien.
Oh.
From the 70s, because the difference between the Alien and Aliens, the sequel, James Cameron's Aliens, is like it takes place like 100 years after the original one because Ripley was in cryosleep. But this one like takes place almost like directly after the original Alien.
Wow.
And so like the people don't really actually know like what the aliens are or what the xenomorphs are. They just want to find them.
They just know they want to hug your face. Or they quickly learn that they want to hug your face.
Yeah.
And who doesn't want a hug to the face?
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was really good, really greatly executed. It actually had like basically just like mostly unknown actors in it.
It's been getting good reviews. I've heard good things about it. I haven't seen it yet, but it seems like people are enjoying it.
Yeah, there's one thing that's might be a spoiler. If anybody who doesn't want to be spoiled or doesn't want to know, cover your ears. They do bring back a character from the original movie, and they had to CGI de-age them.
Oh.
And I hate it when they do that.
I'm not even going to ask who it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't look the greatest. It looks okay sometimes.
Was it really them though? Did they really get the person, or was it like just a CGI version of them, like they did Tarkin?
AI.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it was like AI involved. It was just kind of like the CGI was just like this actor is there, but they're obviously like de-aged by the CGI.
I like a good use of de-aging, but when they just totally CGI a character in, it's kind of like, meh.
Because as you know, like the original Alien took place was made in the 70s. And so
I think it was 1979. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure 79 was the first one.
And so obviously this actor does not look like they were back then. So.
I don't look like I looked in 1979 either. Yeah, 1979, you were right.
I mean, Mike Young, you can just Google it. You can know who it is.
Oh, Mikey saw him in the theater.
I'm pretty sure it was. Is it Bishop?
No, it's not Bishop.
Oh, okay.
It's the. I don't want to say anything.
Okay, all right. I'll stop
But
pushing.
it's a pretty fresh release, so that's fair. Cool.
So, you know, the future wife and I have been watching a lot of movies in theaters. Obviously, Andreas went and saw Romulus in theaters. Mike, have you gone out to the movies? The flickers?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I've seen though. It's been a few weeks.
Yeah.
I think I've been to the theater since our last Jolt even? Maybe not. I'm drawing a blank right now on anything I've seen in the theaters, I'm sorry. I wasn't ready.
Has anybody seen Twisters yet?
Oh, I did see Twisters. Hell yeah, I saw Twisters. We can talk Twisters. Thank you. I needed my memory jog.
Okay.
I did see Twisters.
The future wife and I are wanting to see it, and we don't want to spend the $24.99 that it is to rent it on Amazon.
Oh, it'll be like only $5 to rent in about a month.
You know, yeah, right. But was it worth going out to the flickers to see it?
Yeah. It's a big screen. It's a summer popcorn flick. It's a big, loud, action-y movie. Yeah, it's worth seeing on the big screen, I'd say.
Okay, and so from the things that I heard and read about it, it's a direct sequel, but they don't have anybody that was in the first one in this one. No, except for maybe the truck.
No human characters. Not the truck. They have a Dorothy unit. You know the Dorothy unit.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They have a Dorothy unit. Yeah, that's right. That's the only character I spotted from the original was the Dorothy unit. So that means it is in the same. It's definitely in the same universe. It's definitely a proper sequel to Twister. Definitely.
Yeah. So I haven't watched it. So there's nobody related to the original people.
Nope.
Because that's what I heard.
I was totally expecting and waiting for, and it didn't happen. And then I was like, "Oh, nice, okay, I kind of like that."
Yeah, somebody said that the dude in this was Bill Paxton's son.
No, they never said any of that in the movie. No, whoever said that's full of beans.
Glenn Powell's character.
Glenn Powell. Yeah, no, he's nobody's son. Well, no, he wasn't. I don't believe they said that. I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
They were like, he's nobody's son. He was born out of a tank.
But you know what? The main girl in it, she totally rocked the same outfit as Helen Hunt in the first one, which was really great.
Oh,
she had the full-on Helen Hunt outfit.
the coveralls tied around the waist and the wife beater
the
tank top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you just consider it just like a full-on remake instead of?
No, it's a sequel. It's definitely a sequel. It's not a remake. Yeah,
because of the mention to Dorothy.
Yeah, they got a Dorothy unit. They reference, I believe, the research that was done back in the first movie and the Dorothy unit stuff that they did. So it's like,
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's firmly, it's like a real time, this many years later sequel. You know, same amount of time that's passed for us. I think there was a part in there that they probably wrote so that it would be Helen Hunt, and then for whatever reason, whether Helen Hunt didn't want to do it or they changed their minds, I don't know. They just went ahead and made it not Helen Hunt's character, but kept the character in the movie except it's not Helen Hunt's character. It was the girl's mom. The girl's mom shows up, and it really seemed like it could have been Helen Hunt very easily, but for whatever reason, they brought in somebody else and made it not be Helen Hunt.
Maybe they didn't want to do it because, rest in power, Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
No longer with us. And I'm sure maybe they didn't want to, or they didn't get permission to CGI him into the movie.
Yeah, have him show up as a ghost in the last Twister shot of the show and just be waving to her. Bye! Yeah. That would have been god-awful. I'm glad they didn't do anything like that. I'm glad they didn't
Ghostbuster.
Yeah,
because I'm assuming that girl's
Harold Ramis showed up.
Because I'm assuming that girl's parents would have been Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt.
It sort of seems like they had a first draft that was the case. Well, with the way the mom scenes went, but there was not very many mom scenes either. So, yeah.
This girl's just really big into twisters.
Well, her dad was also killed by a tornado. The Twister movies are about revenge on the tornado that killed your dad. That's what.
That's what I was about to just mention, because so future wife, she loves disaster films, and so we've been watching a lot of them lately. Volcano, Dante's Peak.
I was thinking about Dante's Peak just the other day. I need to rewatch that one. It was so good. I loved that one when I was a kid.
Armageddon, like she loves these disaster flicks, and the closer we get to the wedding, the more stressed out she gets, and the more calm she gets when we watch disaster flicks. So we were watching Twister the other day.
Big Ronald fan, is she?
Yeah. And we were watching Twister the other day, and I was like, man, this is just about a pissed off chick who wants to kill every tornado because one of them killed her dad.
That's what those movies are about.
It's just a revenge flick because, she has daddy issues.
Well, you would too if a tornado killed your daddy.
Yeah, right?
Damn it.
But, yeah.
I mean, there's a better solution.
Oh, you live in Kansas, Mikey?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Mikey's no stranger.
I mean, that's the solution. Just don't live in Kansas or
along the tornado
or alley. Really flat place. I probably shouldn't say that, because
we've had two.
Even in Salt Lake City,
we all live in the same area. Well, we don't live in the same area, but we all live in the same state, and we've had two tornadoes in my lifetime. Yeah.
But none of them killed our paws, so we didn't have to dedicate our lives to chasing them. That's true.
You know what? It's almost a missed opportunity if you think about it. We could have had a storm chasing podcast instead of a entertainment news podcast.
What could have been?
Now I kind of want to look up like a storm chaser podcast to see
see if they're like Glenn Powell in this movie.
Maybe.
Glenn Powell in this movie is a YouTuber that chases tornadoes. That's his deal. He's a YouTuber. But it's okay, because when they sell T-shirts, they use it to buy food for the victims of the tornadoes in the towns that they visit. So it's okay.
Oh.
He's actually a nice guy. Sorry, spoilers. He's actually a nice guy.
I don't know.
Oh, well.
Does that make it better? I don't know.
Well, it did for the one scene where they explained it.
So this guy, he buys T-shirts?
No, they sell their merch as they travel around chasing tornadoes. But then when there's disaster in a town, they use the money from their YouTube channel to help the people of the town and feed them and help them recover.
Oh, okay.
They put their YouTube money to heroic use.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
that's why he's got to be a big, loud YouTuber personality on the internet so they can make money so they can help people.
He's basically
like the Mr. Beast of tornadoes.
Yeah. Exactly. That's it. But you know what? I can't help it. I'm really starting to like Glenn Powell. If Hollywood wants him to be some leading man, I think I'm okay with it. Is that right, Glenn Powell, or is it Glenn Cooper? Glenn Powell. I need this. There it is. Glenn Powell. Yes, this guy. What a charmer. What a handsome fella. He's really hitting his stride lately. He's been in a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah. He is a bit of a handsome fella.
What an awkward smile in this photo. It's creeping me out.
Right.
I'm starting to like him less.
Seriously.
I'm starting to like him a lot less.
And the hairstyle's not really...
That's his first Wikipedia. This is his second Wikipedia picture. Who's doing his Wikipedia page?
He needs to get his agents on the line and be like, hey, can we change my Wikipedia
This one looks like he's saying, her.
Can we stop like putting photos of me with my mouth just like open, like?
Oh, but he was good in Top Gun Maverick too. He was in that recently. He was pretty good.
Oh, that's right. Was he Goose's kid? Was that who he was?
No, he was the.
He was just kind of like the
cocky jerk guy.
Yeah, he's like the hotshot rival of whatever the
Goose's
other guys.
Kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Twisters, I saw that.
Yet,
Wait, recent theater releases. I bet I'll think of one more that I've seen if I look at the last. Oh no, wait, summer 2024 movie list.
we know you saw Deadpool and Wolverine.
I did see that.
That was what our last podcast.
I think that's the last one I saw
podcast
before Twister. I think that was last. Oh, I did recently watch Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes on Hulu. It's on streaming now, and that was all right. I just watched that the other day.
I am so far behind.
What'd you think of the Kingdom?
I liked it. I thought it was a good continuation of the story. I kind of liked how it jumped ahead in time and left the Caesar stuff behind to tell, some new continuation stories of it. Whoops.
The kids went and saw. The kids went and saw Despicable Me 4, and they said it was great.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet. I do love the Despicable Me movies and the Minions movies. So I'll probably watch it when it comes to streaming.
Yeah, I plan to see Despicable Me 4 as soon as I can get it on the streaming.
Yeah, it's not one I want to pay for. I would definitely pay to go back and see Deadpool and Wolverine again.
Yeah, I almost did this week, but I didn't.
We can talk about what we are looking forward to.
Yes, certainly. What's coming out?
Like movies.
Yeah, what is coming out?
Well, they dropped the trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Oh, that's right.
Right, I did see that. What do you guys think about Beetlejuice?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Beetlejuice, man.
Me too.
I feel like, they're doing the press for it. I've been watching Michael Keaton in interviews, and he seems to genuinely enjoy the finished product, so I hope he's not just bullshitting us. But I'm wary. I have hopes for it.
I'm
trying not to get him too high.
Yeah, I'm wary. But again, like I said, like nowadays, if I had fun watching the movie, I like it. If I didn't, then I don't. Yeah. Or, with my games and stuff like that. So
I think Beetlejuice will be fun. I think it'll be fun.
It is.
I love Michael Keaton.
It is I don't know, odd, how Tim Burton is all of a sudden, okay, now is the time for Beetlejuice 2.
Yeah.
Well, they did an interview. They did an interview with, I think I watched it on YouTube or something. But they did an interview, and Michael Keaton said that he wasn't going to do a sequel until the script was right.
Yeah.
And they've been trying to do a sequel for, decades, obviously. Because it came out when, don't want to age myself, but when I was
just say the year.
What year did it come? Oh, not 88. I was only 5. I was only 5 when it came out.
You aged yourself anyway.
Yeah, I aged myself anyway. Yeah, I'm old.
I think we're all in the same boat. We're all cautiously optimistic that they'll just do it right and just do it justice and not ruin the whole thing.
Here's
I do love.
Do you guys want to place your bets about? Do you think they'll do? Because I know the whole premise is because the dad is dead.
Yeah.
And that's why they come back to the town.
Yeah.
And it's do you think they'll make a Jeffrey Jones joke?
Oh boy.
Oh, I hope not.
I'm thinking they won't, but if they do, it's probably going to be awful. It's probably going to be so bad and so distasteful.
I don't want them to either, but that does kind of seem like something that Tim Burton would do.
I feel like if there, I hope that there's not a joke in there, but if there is, I bet it's going to be just so distasteful. But hopefully they just don't bring it up.
Because I keep on reading in interviews with Michael Keaton that he's just oh yeah, Beetlejuice. He's not woke or something like that. I thought I saw a headline.
Yeah. I heard him talking about how he's only in the first movie for 17 minutes of screen time, and he didn't want to do one if they put him in it too much. He wanted to keep it to, and I think in this one I heard that he's only in it about 20 minutes of screen time. So that's also promising to me. They're not gonna overdo it with here's Beetlejuice, blah blah blah, blah, and they just have him in every scene. If they use him sparingly like they did in the first one, it could be really great.
Yeah,
you got Catherine O'Hara, you got You got Winona Ryder coming back. You got Jenna Ortega in it, who's just so hot right now. She's everywhere. She's in everything.
Yeah, speaking of Jenna Ortega, I liked her as Wednesday.
Oh, she's great. They're doing another season.
I thought she was great. And the fact that I only watched a few episodes of Wednesday, but I thought it was great. It was a great show.
Brett Armisen is Uncle Fester. Come on.
Yeah. I like the series. I just wished it was kind of more about the rest of the family.
It's called Wednesday, bro.
I know, but I like a new Addams Family series.
Jenna Ortega, I've liked what I've seen her in, though. I think she's going to be around for a while. So
yeah,
I did appreciate how shout out to the Latinos out there. They basically just confirmed, the Addams have always been Latinos.
Oh yeah. Well, Raul Julia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Raul Julia.
Raul Julia.
His name is Gomez for crying.
His name is Gomez.
Yeah, it's weird when people are surprised to find out the Addamses are Hispanic. It's kind of weird. Anyway.
I never even thought about it.
Keep up, everybody.
I never even.
Gomez. His name is Gomez.
I never thought about it. I was just like, oh, okay, this is just a family.
The creator was Hispanic, right? Or what was the deal? You know?
I don't.
Well, me neither, so I'm not going to talk about it.
Yeah, they basically just started out as a caricature in the New Yorker.
Yeah.
Where it'd just be these one panel comics.
Yeah.
Where it would just be and it was what was it, the 30s or 40s, where it's supposed to be here's the modern, suburban home, but then they'd just be weird and creepy.
The Addams Family did predate the Munsters. I just looked it up because I was curious, just in case anybody else was wondering.
Kind of just an indictment on the whole American suburban household.
Yeah.
To be these people are weird.
Yeah. Well,
somehow I know too much about the Addams Family too.
The Addams Family 2 is one of the rare examples of a sequel that was better than the first one, in my opinion. Addams Family 2, the movie.
The Addams Family Values?
Christina Ricci was playing Wednesday. Yeah, Addams Family Values. Values, that one. I find that sequel to be superior to the original. How about you guys? How about you, chat? Also, chat, weigh in. Addams Family 1 or 2?
I have to go back and rewatch them because I don't I remember that Christina Ricci was Wednesday. I just can't really remember the movies.
Oh,
I might have to go back and watch them.
They're kind of really about nothing. It's just
they're just about this weird family.
Yeah, I do know the first one was about because Uncle Fester.
He lost his memory, wasn't it? Or was that Family Values?
It's been the first one was Fester was gone for 25 years, but then they go and find him, I believe. Gordon poses Fester to infiltrate the household.
Right, but the twist was he is actually Gomez's
Fester,
brother,
and then he remembers. Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, they say he's been lost in the Bermuda Triangle for 25 years. That was why he was gone.
And how great was Christopher Lloyd
Babushka!
as Uncle Fester? Yeah.
Dance the Babushka. You don't remember that?
Lloyd.
Come on, classic.
I do remember. It's coming back. It's all coming back to me now.
They're really great movies, and for some reason, I think a lot of people, and I only realized it myself, when I was just a little bit younger, that oh, Tim Burton didn't make these. This isn't Tim Burton.
Oh yeah, no way. Very Sonnenfeld.
But it is very Tim Burton-esque,
Yeah. Yeah, it's like they were trying to capture some of that vibe. This was 93, so this was after at least one of the Batmans had come out, right? So Tim Burton was riding high by 93, wasn't he?
Yeah. And I'm sure he hated the fact that he couldn't, he wasn't picked to direct. Because that is very much up Burton's alley.
Yeah.
Well, the first Batman was a Tim Burton. It was 89. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did Tim Burton say about Addams Family? Said he was drawn to the... Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, he directed the Wednesday. He directed episodes of Wednesday, though.
Yeah, that's why Jenna Ortega is like in everything that he's doing.
Tim Burton's a lot like that, though. He like finds actors and actresses, and he just clings to them. He has them in his stable.
Puts them in his stable.
Sometimes he marries them and then divorces them.
Yeah, that too.
And then puts them in another movie anyway. Sometimes they're Johnny Depp.
Sometimes they're Helena Bonham Carter.
What else is coming out this fall? The Front Room. You guys excited for that? That's an A24 horror movie. You heard
I don't know much about it. What's it about?
It is a mother-to-be forced to take her elderly mother-in-law after the woman's husband dies. Once the older woman moves in, however, she begins to take the house over and pit her son against his wife. She also has a love for that old-time religion, which seems to extend to thinking that the Holy Spirit moves directly through her, and that the baby her daughter-in-law is carrying might even be more special than anyone knows. Speaking of family, The Creepiest is written and directed by Sam and Max Eggers.
That definitely sounds like an A24 movie.
Yeah. Yeah, should be spooky, creepy spooky. How about his three daughters? You heard of this? You seen this? You heard about this?
Well, I did. Have you seen this? Have you heard?
Oh, sorry. Did you say something about the Front Room?
Well, no. I do want to talk about. Is it Speak No Evil? It's got Professor X from the newer X-Men.
Yeah, he's looking creepy in this one. Yes.
Yeah.
James McAvoy.
Yeah.
McAvoy.
But I was going to say continue on because I have to go deal with a cat problem really fast. I'm going to mute myself and deal with the cat problem.
Too. Okay, good luck.
Yeah, and I will be right back.
I know that this is.
I try not to.
I know that this is a remake of like a Danish movie.
Oh, it premiered at Sundance in 22.
Horror movie.
Huh.
I was reading a bit about the plot, and I'm like, oh man, this sounds dark.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. Yeah, it does. It looks really dark. Set to release on September 14th. It's a Blumhouse production, so you know it's going to be creepy kooky. You know it.
That Jason Blum, he knows how to pick out like the good horror premises for his studio to make. Like the Five Nights at Freddy's movie was, a huge hit. And so, like, I think they said, like, they're planning on, like, more and more sequels for that one. They're making a sequel for Megan.
Oh, really? What number are they going to put in the title?
I don't know, but they said...
Beforgan?
Maybe, but they also said they're making a spin-off where the premise is, mute and plug your eyes. Plug your ears, kids, because the spinoff is supposed to be about a sex doll.
Oh boy,
that comes alive.
Yikes!
And does kind of the same shenanigans.
Wow, sounds kooky.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's kind of like I like Blumhouse because they basically know like what they are making. They're making kind of like the horror, like the schlocky horror movies that were from the 80s and early 90s.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, you're creeping out of frame a little bit. You should lean back a little.
Oh,
so you know. Just a little editor's note there. Here's one I haven't heard of called My Old Ass, but I see it's got Aubrey Plaza in it, so maybe I'll watch it. This says an 18-year-old woman named Elliot goes on a magic mushroom trip and soon finds herself hanging out with an unlikely companion, her future self. That sounds like it could be interesting to me. That's coming out September 13th. Oh, here it is. Speak No Evil with McAvoy.
I know that actually not too far from now. Speaking of Aubrey Plaza, she's supposed to be in the new Agatha All Along.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. When is that releasing, actually? That's coming up. We'll be talking about that on this show, I'm sure.
Pretty soon.
I think it's in September. Yeah, September 18th. Oh, we're just a couple weeks away from Agatha. That's great.
Oh wow.
I'm very much looking forward to that. I like Catherine Hahn. I like what she did in the WandaVision series, and I hope that they don't make this show dumb. I hope that it's good. I hope it's good and not dumb.
I mean, 2024 has been pretty light on the Marvel. I mean, the only big movie they released so far was Deadpool.
Yeah, they're reeling it back. They're going to do less movies per year now going forward than they were doing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just that and this one, Agatha All Along, which is, I think, basically kind of like the sequel show to WandaVision, which I really liked. I enjoyed WandaVision.
Yeah.
Well, if I can pull up some articles here, because I did actually do some research into this.
We got Daredevil.
Why they're doing...
doesn't come out till next March. That's when Daredevil Born Again comes out.
I did do some research about why Disney is restricting MCU movies.
It's because the last ones have been pretty not well received.
Yeah, and I think the problem is unfortunately, like, they really... I was about to say something inappropriate, but I'll change it to be appropriate for our family viewers. They really jumped the shark. They jumped the shark.
Yeah.
When it comes to, like, how to do their Marvel movies. Like, I don't know how you can really top Endgame, right? And now they've got to go in and they've got to top Endgame. And it's difficult. And I don't know if you guys saw, but Robert Downey Jr. is it's not a spoiler, anybody, but Robert Downey Jr. is returning to MCU as Doctor Doom.
Dr. Doom.
Which is, it's going to be interesting to see how he's Doctor Doom. I'm sure we'll see it in the Fantastic Four movie that's supposed to be coming up.
Just as simple as alternate reality. Tony Stark and his life went weird.
Yeah, you know? They're really.
They got the Fantastic Four movie coming out, which I think is supposed to be kind of retro and may take place in the past. And it's not going to surprise me if we see a version of Howard Stark in that movie, and something happens between him and Reed Richards. And that's why Tony Stark turns into Doctor Doom. I was thinking about this.
Well, I bet they'll
set it up. I'll bet they'll set it up in the Fantastic Four movie. I bet they'll lay the groundwork for why he's Doctor Doom in the Fantastic Four movie that's coming out.
and I think they were saying, like, he's not Tony Stark. He is actually Victor Von Doom.
He's not going to be some variant.
I mean,
Tony Stark that just goes by Victor Von Doom because they moved to Latveria after Reed Richards shamed Howard Stark into running away.
They already explained away, like, how in Deadpool, like, how some actors are playing different characters, like Chris Evans.
Chris Evans is in the same universe, though.
Well, no,
they're explaining, like, the whole
he's absolutely right.
Chris Evans was playing the Human Torch, Johnny Storm,
the Fox universe, and he was also
Steve Rogers, and so, like,
and he was
in the
there's Robert Downey Jr., who is, like, looking like Victor Von Doom. He's coming from the universe that they're creating for the Fantastic Four, and I think
I see where you're going, AC.
I think they're just saying, like, hey, we just like Robert Downey Jr., and why wouldn't you not want to see him play?
And Robert Downey Jr. is like, I like $100 million. So
That's the big thing is, like, they probably paid him.
I need to put my grandkids through college.
Yeah. Hoybit, welcome to it. Thanks for joining us.
And personally, I don't care.
I've got no objections to it. I'm down to see him play a villain.
I think he's, like, such a good actor. Like, once he's on screen, like, you won't care.
It's not gonna matter.
My youngest asked me today, because we were actually talking about this, and he asked me today. He was like, "When has Robert Downey Jr. ever played a villain?" And I was trying to think back, and I was trying to, the mind IMDb in my head, and all I could say was I was like, I think the last time Robert Downey Jr. played a villain was in Weird Science.
Yeah, he was.
But he was only the bully. He was only the bully.
he wasn't really a villain. He was kind of just like a pathetic guy in Natural Born Killers.
This article says in 1998 he was Special Agent John Royce in U.S. Marshals, a villain. I never saw it.
Oh,
He was Dr. Kozak in The Shaggy Dog in 2006. He was a nefarious scientist, Dr. Kozak.
That Shaggy Dog?
Oh, that movie Zodiac 2007, right before Iron Man.
Oh.
Right before Iron Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was he the Zodiac Killer?
Let's see.
The story of the Zodiac Killer.
The killer plays mission with tons of police. I can't tell.
I thought that was the whole point of that movie, is they never find out who it actually was.
Oh,
well, it's because we still don't know who the Zodiac Killer is.
It's Ted Cruz's
Natural Born Killers in 94.
I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts, and the Zodiac Killer's still yet to be found. But
yeah. They list him as a villain in Oppenheimer. He was the antagonist for sure, but I feel like villain's a stretch for his role in Oppenheimer. He was...
and I feel like a lot of these...
an antagonist. So...
whatever. And even in Weird Science, he was just an antagonist. He wasn't a villain.
I'm trying to remember him specifically in Weird Science.
He was the bully.
Yeah, it's just been so long, though. I can't... I need an image. I need to jog my memory.
That's definitely one I haven't...
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I remember.
That's definitely one I haven't watched a long time.
Bill Paxton was probably the villain of that movie, but Robert Downey Jr. was definitely an antagonist.
Yeah.
I just watched it the other day. That's why I know. My oldest stepson looks exactly like Anthony Michael Hall, so...
Oh.
We've been watching a lot of Anthony Michael Hall movies just to tease him.
Yeah.
But in any case, I think he'll make a good Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got no objections to him coming back to MCU.
Yeah. Whether he is actually Victor Von Doom or like a corrupted Tony Stark, I think that's pretty cool.
I think I read that there's some comic storyline where Tony Stark does become Doom somehow, but I'm not. Don't quote me on that. I thought I read something, but I don't remember the details.
There's definitely been like comic storylines where Tony Stark turns evil.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just because it's like when you think of like Doctor Doom, he is like a mad scientist dude.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that they're bringing Tony Stark back into or not Tony Stark, but Robert Downey Jr.
You called him Tony.
Yeah, they're bringing Robert Downey Jr. into the MCU again as a different character, and not because AC. I don't know how many of the comics you read, or even Mike. I don't know how many of the comics you've read, but at one point, Tony turned himself into an AI and uploaded himself into the internet. And then he created a new body for himself. And basically, so in the Marvel universe, there's a few of the superheroes that are called superhuman gods. And Magneto's one of them, and Professor X is one of them, Tony Stark is one of them, and there's these superhuman gods, and that was when Tony Stark, because he had brain cancer, so he uploaded his consciousness to the cloud. And
cancer can't follow me here to the cloud.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they didn't. I'm glad that they didn't bring him back with that.
Yeah.
Like,
those there are so many like variations of like, how like the characters die, but then they come back as something else.
Yeah,
I definitely not caught up on where the MCU is right now, or not the MCU. I mean, like the comic book universe. But they always come back. They always
pretty much all the Jesus-based characters have died and come back, and frankly, I'm sick of it. One thing that I'm curious about the MCU is how they're going to introduce the X-Men. They already did at the end of the Ms. Marvel movie.
True. They introduced.
I saw Beast. I saw Kelsey Grammer. Don't even tell me.
Well, yeah, even before that, in the Miss Marvel show, they were saying that.
Well, they said she's a mutant, but they didn't introduce the X-Men. But then they
because
showed the Beast.
And that's the thing is like they retconned her to be a mutant because originally she was supposed to be a what are the other guys?
All her power from the Bengals or whatever.
She's an Inhuman.
Yeah, she was originally
she's an Inhuman.
An Inhuman, but then they said because the Inhumans were like going nowhere in the MCU, and they were like, okay, well, now we have the X-Men, so let's make her an X-Men because she's super popular. And
to be fair,
the
Hulu series of the Inhumans was god awful, and it was because they were trying to stick far too much to the comic book material. I think if you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and they did the Inhumans, I think they did it
a lot better. They did it a lot better.
It wasn't perfect, but it was a lot better.
At least they explain like what the Inhumans are, and also like in their relation to the Kree.
Right.
And
is that Ramsay Bolton in the Inhumans? Ramsay Bolton from Game of Thrones? Oh man.
Yeah.
That's also
that is Ramsay.
I see his face and I just don't like him.
Yeah.
And the Inhumans are. It's a weird story to tell.
Yeah.
And the reason like the MCU decided to like lean into the Inhumans is because like, well, we don't have the X-Men, so these will be our new X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But come on, you can't top the X-Men.
Yeah. Right. And I mean, if they would have gone about the same route as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it could have worked out better. But you can't take a comic book and throw it on the screen and expect audiences to love it. Because there's a difference between a comic book and a movie. Like, I don't know where the separation is, but I could read comic books that seem absolutely absurd. And if they put the exact same comic book, plate by plate on the screen, I'd be like, this is just awful. The things that they're saying is like, it's just terrible.
Yeah, and I'm also actually kind of pissed off about the Inhuman show because that kind of made them like abandon like all the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s characters at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
they did that show wrong. I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. didn't get the justice it deserved. It started off really good. And then
I think it ended well too. I mean,
I get the support it needed.
I know, and
Marvel.
but like also like there was like so many like good Marvel characters that they put in the show,
and cameos were great, and they could have done so many different cameos.
They even did like some Daredevil references in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of, I mean, gosh, the show just was absolutely great once because it was airing when Winter Soldier came out.
Yeah.
And so you get like the whole revelation that that S.H.I.E.L.D. has always been like controlled by Hydra.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah, and then they
dump
like,
for a
almost like
10-year-old TV show.
Yeah, and they
movie.
jump underground, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was such a great show, and it was very underrated.
I don't know that I actually watched the last couple seasons of it. I think I never did finish the whole thing.
The last couple seasons are.
The thing that you're showing right now, Mike, looks like a trailer for the Green Mile. Oh wait, no,
yeah, it kind of does.
Walked in. Yeah,
they're just dressed all old timey. Don't worry, it's
probably. Well, no. Here's the thing: is like the last couple seasons they go back in time.
Yeah. That's kind of like
their jump the shark moment. It's like because they run into like when Infinity War is happening, And so they're just like, well, we don't know what to do with these Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. characters, so let's just send them back in time so nothing matters anymore.
Yeah.
And then they were in space for a season. Yeah.
Wow, really?
Yeah, they were in space for a season, and I think they were on a Kree ship.
Oh my goodness! He just
or
took that
something
guy's
like
face
that.
off. He just erased his face.
Yeah, wow.
Dang, Coulson. I love Coulson though. Oh, look at him with his Tommy gun. Yeah.
Anyway, for our listeners, if you haven't watched, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's a good watch.
Yeah,
it's just you know what? Even if you don't like Marvel, it's just good sci-fi too.
It really was. It really was. Yeah, definitely.
And Coulson is just such a great character, and his love of old timey like 007 type gadgets.
Yeah.
Just great. I know we've gone down a rabbit hole here, but one of my least favorite comic book movies that was an adaptation from the comics was Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah, I recently watched that one before Deadpool came out, and it was not great. It's not really great.
And Mike, you probably remember because I had that gold foil comic book of the Age of Apocalypse, and I'm sure you read it at least once. But
oh yeah,
they did do a pretty good Age of Apocalypse shout out in Deadpool.
Yeah,
they did.
Yeah, they did.
And like I still have them. The gold foil comic books of the Age of Apocalypse, and it is my absolute favorite. X-Men were my favorite growing up. I loved the X-Men. I was a nerd. I was an outcast, and so I loved the X-Men, and I loved the Age of Apocalypse. And I really felt nothing against any of the actors or actresses in that movie. I just feel like the script was just
it was just weak. It was kind of weak.
Yeah, and also the Age of Apocalypse could be a trilogy on its own.
Yeah, and the actors were, they were good, but it just seemed like they didn't even care. Like I thought, it's like Jennifer Lawrence seemed like.
Oh, she was definitely checked out by then.
What am I still doing here?
Yeah.
Also, hang on. You guys can keep talking. I just got to use the little boy's room.
No, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and there were so many things that they could have done different. Like we didn't even meet Rogue in the movies.
Yeah.
Before
before that came along.
Well, they were doing the First Class. Like the First Class was the ones that met Apocalypse. Yeah. Well, I guess not, because Scott was there and Jean was there and we had Nightcrawler, but I mean we hadn't seen Rogue yet.
Yeah.
And Rogue is integral, and so is Magneto. Like Magneto saves the world in the Age of Apocalypse. Like he becomes Professor X.
Yeah. That's okay. We got X-Men 97 to cover all that. It's great.
Yeah, right. And I still need to finish that. Yeah. We've gone
cartoon. Yeah, Rogue was great. Rogue's classic. They didn't really do her justice in the X-Men movies either. Anna Paquin's good.
Right.
The first one she was good, but then they just sort of squandered her for the rest of the movies. It's too bad.
And they really why did she have more of a Southern accent in True Blood than she did in the X-Men movies? Like Rogue is
for lost time, man.
Rogue is like down south. Like she's supposed to have. Welcome back. She's supposed to have that down south, accent.
Yeah.
And she didn't do it.
Hey man, right. If you're a fan of Rogue, then you'll love X-Men 97.
Yeah, man.
I need to
Rogue is
I need
all
to finish
over
it.
that show.
Oh, I know. And for the listeners that don't know, if you remember the 90s version of the X-Men, Disney Plus put out would you consider it a sequel, a continuation to the original X-Men?
Yes, I consider it both of those things.
Okay.
Wait, which one?
X-Men 97.
X-Men 97.
It continues the story.
Yeah, it leaves off
Literally.
exactly where it ended.
Right. And so, like the three of us, we have a lot of nostalgia attached to the X-Men from the 90s. But if you're listening now, do you start at 97 or do you start at the beginning?
Oh, just go through and watch the whole damn series again, man. It's great.
I think
anyway.
the way
Put
that
it on during dinner time.
the way that 97 starts is like you don't necessarily need to rewatch the original series because
you don't need to. You don't need
like
to.
yeah. The writing is actually really good where they kind of like explain everything, like where everything left off. Like because I assume you know, Matt, that 97 starts off with Professor X is gone, and Cyclops is taken over as the new leader.
Right.
You know what would be fun? You could just watch the last episode of the original cartoon and then start, and that would be enough.
For like 2 seconds, I thought you were saying the first episode of the original, and I was like, no, that's not what happened. The first episode in the original is Jubilee's running away from some Sentinels.
Yeah,
that's the first episode. Yeah. That's the very first episode of the X-Men animated series. For those of you that have never seen it, go back and watch it. It's great.
That's awesome. And it's on Disney. You can just blow through the whole thing.
Disney Plus.
Like I did. When I heard that they were making 97 like a couple years ago, I was just like, man, I'm just going to
Star Wars, X-Men, Disney, sponsor this show.
Totally.
Yeah.
Give us some of that Disney money.
Want some?
It's because they're just like buying up all of our childhoods.
Yeah, right.
Oh boy. Well, boys, anything else?
I did want to mention that I'm super excited for playing more Star Wars Outlaws. But I'm also really, really psyched for the new Legend of Zelda game that's coming out in a few weeks too.
Where you play as Zelda?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm excited for that. I'm sure there's probably others that I'm waiting for, but those are the big ones that I could think of. Have either of you watched Batman Cape Crusader?
I did watch that. That was pretty good. After you recommended it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I went through those, and that didn't sound like Hamish Linklater at all, man. He's doing a hell of a Batman voice.
He's great. Since Kevin Conroy, R.I.P.
Yeah.
But he does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
I don't know if I liked it quite as much as X-Men 97, but they still did a cool job, like creating like that, 1930s, 40s aesthetic for Gotham City.
Yeah.
And like making Batman like look like the original Batman.
It sort of feels a little bit prequely to the old cartoon that I remember from the 90s. It almost seemed like it could be the same Batman, but before all those adventures.
Right. But this is like supposed to take place like in the 20s or 30s.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because they don't have like, cell phones, so they can't call each other.
Yeah.
They have to like communicate through radios.
Did it upset you to your core as a Batman fan that they gender swapped to the role of one of the villains?
Oh gosh.
Are you offended to your core, and did you write 1,000 online theses about how gender swapping characters from fictional comic books hurts your deepest, truest feelings that are pure because you like
you read it? Yeah. It's
you like the thing, so they should never change it.
Okay, I want to jump in here. Okay? I'm going to jump in here.
Okay.
I've been on both sides of this argument.
Yeah.
All right? I used to be that guy that would do that exact thing, that would write theses on how, like, the female Wolverine. I got so mad. I was like, why would you turn Wolverine into a girl? And I used to write that down all the time, and I got so mad. But then all of a sudden somebody was like, the multiverse, bro. And that was like all they said. It was like the multiverse, bro.
Also,
that was the argument. It was just like the multiverse, bro.
That's all the argument you need.
And it did like,
yeah.
Also, the fact that, I mean, spoilers for the show. It's in the first episode. The fact that the Penguin's a woman doesn't change anything about the character.
Oh.
It's just like they decide to make them a woman because, I don't know, because they had fun like animating her, and she's actually like a lot more like combative, and like she can hold.
Well, do we need to see the exact same freaking Penguin again? No.
Yeah, and like
no.
The fact that like she's like they changed the character to like she's like a burlesque singer and dancer, and she's athletic and she can hold her own against Batman. Like I thought that was I like that choice.
Yeah. It's something different, especially they're doing that live action Penguin series anyway.
Yeah, you get also get Oswald Cobblepot in that.
Plenty of Penguin to go around. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was an interesting choice. I certainly didn't think it took away from the character at all. It's like, it doesn't matter if the Penguin's a man or a woman. It doesn't matter one lick. So
really, it doesn't matter
multiverse, bro.
Yeah, the multiverse. Doesn't matter, man or woman, whatever character. Still good. Yeah,
I always say, like, you know what? We kind of like hold these like certain visions of like the in our heads, and it's like just because they didn't do like what's in your head or what you imagined, then go write it yourself. You can do it.
Right. I got all pissed off at one point years ago when they were like, well, the new Captain America is going to be Will Smith. And I got so pissed off. I was like, why would they do that? There's always been. A long time ago.
Oh. Really? Man, I'd pay good money to see that movie. Will Smith is
Captain. Right. And I got so pissed off. And I don't know why anymore. I was like, I don't know why I was so pissed off.
I guess it's just part of growing up. Eventually you stop caring so much about what somebody makes up about your made-up characters that you liked 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, you're right. I really just don't care anymore. But you keep Peter Parker. You keep Peter Parker, Peter Parker.
Forever and ever and ever.
Forever and ever and ever. Sorry, people.
Yeah, people got so mad about that, they had to create a whole nother character to not make Peter Parker Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Well.
Oh boy.
Spider-Man's my favorite.
Patricia Parker.
Penny Parker.
There's Penny Parker.
Penny Parker.
There's also Mayday
She's
Parker.
Japanese. Oh, Penny Parker's Japanese.
There's Penny Parker. There's Mayday Parker.
Yeah.
There's who's the one girl they teased at the very end of Spider-Man 2?
Mikey, you and I are on the same page, buddy.
Silk.
Spider-Man was my shit.
Silk. Yep, so many Spiders-Mans.
Yeah, I have a comic book that's Spider-Geddon, and it actually has the Spider-Man from the video games in it as well.
They bring in all the Spider-Man. They bring in Japanese Spider-Man. Have you ever watched Japanese Spider-Man? He's got a big He's got a big Power Rangers Zord. Like a Megazord.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Oh man.
Alrighty, boys. I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah, we could talk about all this stuff all day.
Totally good jolting though. Appreciate you
Yeah.
guys joining me for it. I'm glad to have everybody in the chat out there chatting along. Thanks for joining us for another episode. We'll try to maybe not wait a full month to do another one. What do you say? Maybe do one with
I kind of have to.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, you're going to be out of commission for a little while here.
Yeah. I mean, we could do it next Sunday. I could probably do a Jolt next Sunday, but then the Saturday after, I'm getting married and then going on my honeymoon.
Right.
So
everybody tell Matt happy upcoming wedding and honeymoon.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Who says that? But yeah, I'm gonna be out. But don't stop just because I'm gone.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll keep it posted.
Keep it up.
We'll post it in the Discord, of course. You guys can join the Discord if you're not already in there. Check the link for description or the description for links. That's how you say that in the right order. Yeah. We'll let you know when we're going to do another one. We're talking video game news, entertainment news here on Jolt. It's on Gaming Mike's channel. You can go to gamingmikeschannel.com for links to all the stations we stream to, but it's pretty much whatever website you can think of. Sorry that Twitch stream went down today. I don't know what happened to it. Just crapped out after about half an hour. So, sorry.
Oh, no.
It's fine. We kept going strong on YouTube the whole time.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, we've been going like 2 hours. Yeah, it's great.
2 hours 15 now. Heck yeah.
Good jolt. Good jolt.
Good jolting. Alrighty. Well, thanks everybody. We'll catch you next time. Final thoughts from you two Joker clowns?
Star Wars is great.
Excellent. AC?
I love you.
That's what I wanted to hear. Thanks everybody. Bye-bye.